If you're a new entrepreneur and you found an awesome product and you finally got a product that matches the market and you actually now got your messaging dialed in, but for some reason things have not taken off yet and you're frustrated and you don't know what to do. And every time you think you found the answer to solve your problem, you've stubbed your toe once again. If this is you, you've come to the right video. I'm going to give you the 3 biggest mistakes that just might be holding you back from the success you ultimately deserve. So stay tuned. Now, let's dive right in. Basically, there are 3 big mistakes that you could be making, and I don't want you to get discouraged. I want you to stick with me here until I get to the last one. I promise you, you're going to need all 3. But by the time you reach the end of this video, things are going to be clear for you. Now, I'm not going to sell you on any fairy tales, right? Or give you an unrealistic worldview when it comes to creating the ultimate success in your life and business. What I am going to tell you is that everything takes effort. Everything takes time. If it's worth doing, there may be some challenges involved, and that's okay. You've overcome challenges in the past, and you can overcome this. So let's dive right in to mistake number 1. Sticking to an unrefined offer. What do I mean by that? This is when you assume your initial version is good enough without testing variations, missing out on optimizations that could increase conversions and market resonance. What do I mean by that? Well, when it comes to optimizations, that means improvements, right? You may have had good feedback starting out, but something could still be missing. So there always is room for improvement. And the way to figure out ways that you can improve is by simply asking for honest feedback on it. Because you can get really excited when you finally find a product and a large number of people like it. You've done the market research. You see that it is an evergreen product or system that a lot of people actually love for solving a specific problem, right? And you even got your unique selling proposition dialed in. That means your unique way of making this version of this best-selling product stand out, right, for you and your business. You figured that all out and you got the messaging down and everybody's resonating with it, but for some reason it's still not clicking, it's still not taking off, and it makes no sense, right? So you have to continue to improve it. Now, the reason why the improvements can increase conversions, and what this means is when I say conversions is you're going to have marketing, some type of marketing in place in your business, right? You hear me talk about this a lot on this channel. Marketing is essential. If people don't know that your product exists, there will be no way that they can reap the benefits of it. So you have to get the message out there. Why take the time to craft a perfect message that you go out into the public, right, the marketplace, and test and people love it if you're not going to place it on some sort of platform? This is what I mean by media buying. Media is the platform with which you are going to be buying, right, the space, right, for your advertising, right, to push your marketing messaging out there into the marketplace. This could be done in a number of ways in today's market, right? Assuming that you're going to use digital advertising, right? You have many ways. You have platforms like Facebook, right? Taboola, Google, TikTok, right? Twitch, Twitter, You also have Pinterest, right? You have Spotify, right? You have Hulu, right? You have connected TV, right? So there's many media on which you can buy spaces for advertisement placement, right? So that's not a problem, but you have to be doing this. And when you put the right message out there, what you're doing is you're going to begin to experience more conversions. This is related to whatever objective, right? Whatever you are optimizing for, right? When I say that, it could be purchases or leads. These are objectives, right? You may want someone to click a link, right, for more information. You might have a landing page or opt-in page where you will have them input their information so you can collect it for them to become potential clients, right? Or you may have a product page if you're doing e-commerce, right? And you may want them to click the link so they can go to the product page and take an action, like adding the product to cart, initiating checkout, and ultimately completing a sale. This is what I mean by conversions. When you improve the product or the messaging, right, or your landing page or the ad creative, it leads to more conversions. So you're going to have to iterate. When you are marketing, I don't care if you are starting off as a new entrepreneur or if you've been in this business for years and already had some great successes, you will always have to test. Iteration is at the heart of life in general. When you were a baby, when you first started to learn how to speak or walk, there were iterations that were necessary in order for you to improve the ultimate outcome. So that pattern is going to persist throughout all of life, and especially in business, right? But you overcome those trials in the past and you can do it again, right? But don't compare things by time because sometimes things may take a little longer than we imagine, especially in the case if you have a great product to market match, a great message to market match, right? And you actually have a great unique selling proposition, but it's not taken off. It doesn't mean that you're farther away from your results. It actually means you're a lot closer than you think. You just need more iterations. But don't get caught up on the number of iterations. Be focused on the effectiveness of the iterations. How can you make them more effective? One way that you can make iterations more effective is by looking to a peer in the same market, right? Having a similar service or product and finding out how they came to put themselves in a space of success. You can glean some insight from that and you can test. Always look for evergreen foundational principles that will work for everyone. Remember, principles have no objections to anyone. If you properly and wisely observe the principle, it will ultimately work for you. Even that in and of itself may require iterations for you to properly understand it so you can properly execute it, right? So don't get frustrated with the number of iterations. Make sure they're effective. Moving on to mistake number 2, ignoring market feedback, right? When you resist adjusting based on real customer responses, holding on to your original version instead of refining your unique selling proposition to meet a market demand, you are shooting yourself in the foot and you are hindering the process to success. You have to take the feedback. Do not become foolishly arrogant because you've gotten a bunch of great feedback on your product to market match, a bunch of great feedback on your message to market match, a ton of great feedback on your unique selling proposition. As I said before, you may still have to do some tweaking, right? You may have to continue to optimize to get to a place where the offer becomes irresistible. So don't be disheartened or frustrated with the feedback that you get, because you got to go back out and get more feedback. And remember, feedback is the breakfast of champions. If you actually listen to what the majority of people are saying, right, in the feedback, and you simply do what they suggest, you will increase your conversions and ultimately increase your sales. I promise you. Don't get caught up on how many iterations. Again, guys, just make sure that it's effective. And how can you iterate effectively? By taking the honest feedback that you receive and immediately taking action on it, right? Now, you cannot rush the process for success, but you can move with speed, right? Remember, success loves speed. Act like you're dying, guys, because guess what? You are. Moving on to mistake number 3. And remember, I always say this when I'm giving you these steps, right? This is no gimmick. The third one, if you fail to observe it, you will absolutely waste time and effort that you put in observing the first 2. So all of these go together, right? Keep that in mind. Okay, here we go. Failing to systematically test, right? If you're not using structured A/B testing, data analysis, or iterative improvements, right, it will lead to stagnant sales and missed opportunities for scaling effectively. Remember, the point is to grow, right? You want to create abundance. You are either trying to leave a legacy for your family or make a great improvement on the world somehow, even if you don't have a family, right? You want to leave a good mark on society and in your community. And the best way to do this is by scaling. How can you help as many people as you possibly can that may be in need if you don't have the resources to do so? So scaling is absolutely essential. You need the right testing structure, because if you're just iterating for iteration's sake, you may be using a faulty foundation, right? Remember, as I said, using foundational principles that are already proven to work, right? And you want it to be evergreen, right? When you do this, you increase your chances to increase conversions and to increase sales, which will ultimately help you scale, right? So you have to be doing this. You have to have the proper structure in place. As I said, you can look to people who have already used proven systems and you can glean knowledge from them, right? Remember, every situation is a microcosm of another, and you can always extrapolate some value that will absolutely apply to the new situation. Even if your unique selling opposition really sets you apart, there's still something you can glean from someone who's gone before you and who has made it work. Look for the systems and the structure that has actually made things easier for them and help them get to a win. Now, I'm not saying that things won't be difficult or challenging, right? Or you want to take the easy way out. That's not what I'm saying. If you do things and work diligently in a more wise and systematized manner, you will have better structure and it will actually streamline the process. That's why when it says in scripture that you should wet the edge, right? Right? Wet the edge or wet the axe. That means you're sharpening your tools. Because if you're actually trying to chop a tree down, think about this, with a dull axe, you're going to cause yourself to work harder. And the point is to not only work hard, but to work smart. I hope this video was helpful to you, and I hope you take this stuff to heart. Remember, you absolutely can do it. You simply have to remain persistent and resilient and resourceful, and you will get to your outcome of success, Lord willing. I hope you guys have a blessed one. Until next time.